Hello everybody, welcome to another video on percentages by THiNC Institute of Design. My name is Jackson. Let's get started. So in the first video, we actually discussed about percentages, how we can actually find percentages, what are the percentages and corresponding fractions, and we also discussed about a formula, that is a plus b plus ab by 100, and the application of the same. So in today's video, we are discussing few more things on percentages. Okay, so we are actually starting off with a very general common question which usually comes in for the exam. So what is this question all about? In a certain school, 20% of the students are below 8 years of age. The number of students above 8 years of age is of the number of students of 8 years of age. So this is having a lot of meaning in this question. So number of students above 8 years of age is of the number of students of 8 years of age, which is 48. So actually this is a question where the sentence is really confusing. So this sentence is altogether really confusing, right? So in a certain school, 20% of the students are below 8 years of age. That is simple, clear. But the number of students above 8 years of age is of the number of students of 8 years of age, which is 48. So basically, from the question, we know that there are three categories. That is, above 8 years of age, at the age of 8 years of age, and below 8 years of age. So number of students above 8 years of age is of the number of students of 8 years of age, which is 48. So number of students above 8 years of age is of the number of students of 8 years of age. So above 8 and at the age of 8 are basically the same. And each of them is 48. That's what this sentence means. The number of students above 8 years of age is of the number of students of 8 years of age, which is 48. That means each of them is equal to 48 and each of them is equal to each other. So this sentence is a bit confusing. So number of students above 8 years of age is of the number of students of 8 years of age. So above 8 and at the age of 8 are same, and which is 48 means each of them is equal to 48. Now 20% of the students are below 8 years of age. So 20% of the total are below 8. So below 8 is 20% of the total. So 20% of the total are below 8 years of age. So below 8 is 20% of the total. So I think I discussed this in the previous class also. So if 20% of the total is some category, the remaining will be 80% of the total, right? So 20% of the total is below 8. That means at the age of 8 and above 8 together will be the remaining 80%. So at the age of 8 and above 8 together, so below 8 is 20% of total. So obviously at the age of 8 and above 8 will be the remaining. What is the remaining? So remaining is 80% of the total. So this much is information which is given in the question. And what is the final question? What is the total number of students in the school? So below 8 years of age is 20% of the total. So that means the remaining at the age of 8 and above 8 together is 80% of the total. And second sentence says that above 8 and at the age of 8 are the same, and each of them is equal to 48. So at the age of 8 plus above 8 together it is 96, right? So at the age of 8 plus above 8 is 96. 48 plus 48, 96. And that is 80% of the total. So we can directly write this as 80% of the total equals 96. So if 80% of the total equals 96, what will be the total? We can cross multiply. So 80 into t equals 96 into 100, right? We can cross multiply directly. So what will we get? So from here I am writing it down. So what will be the total? We can just keep 80 to the downside. So total equals 96 into 100 divided by 80. So total number of students will be this. And is it matching with any of the options? We can cancel this off. We can cancel this off. And 1 into 8 is 8, 16, 12. So it's nothing but 12 into 10, which is 120. So total number of students is nothing but 120. Option D will be the correct answer. So I believe this is clear for you. Now, instead of doing this much, is there any other shortcut? What do you think of? Obviously, yes. We know that below 8 is 20% of the total, and at the age of 8 and above 8 is the same, right? And each of them is equal to 48. So 20% of the total is below 8. That means the remaining 80% is above and at the age of 8 together, right? And each of them is the same. That means each of them is equal to 40% of the total, right? So below 8 is 20% of the total. So at the age of 8 and above 8 is 80% of the total together. So each of them is same, means each of them will be half, which is 40% of the total. So that means each of them is 48. So 40% of the total is 48, correct? So at the above 8 is 48, at the age of 8 is also 48. Both together is 80% of the total. And since each of them are the same, each constitute 40% of the total. So we can simply write like this: 40% of the total, 40% of the total equals 48. Am I right? Because below 8 years of age is 20%. At the age of 8, at the age of 8 and above 8 is nothing but the remaining 80%, right? This is 80%. And since each of them are the same, each of them will be 40%, 40% each. Am I right? So below 8 is 20, at the age of 8 and above 8 is same according to the question. And together is 80, means each of them will be 40, 40 each. And at the age of 8 is 48, above 8 is also 48. So each of them is 48, so 40% of the total is nothing but 48. So we can cancel 0, 0 out, and 4 and 48 cancels off and becomes 12. We'll directly get the total number of students as 12 into 10, which is 120. So basically we can finish off this question in a single step if you do this approach. Otherwise, you have to find 80% of the total equals 96 and all. We have to add these up, so it will take a lot of time. So instead of doing all those, directly reset this and find the correct answer. So total will be 120. I believe this is clear for you. Let's get moving. This is something which is very useful for doing other questions also. What is the question asking us? X percentage of y is A, B is y percentage of x, then which of the following will be true? So A is x percentage of y and B is just the reverse. What is the reverse? Y percentage of x. So A is x percentage of y, B is y percentage of x, then which of the following is true is the question. So A is x percentage of y, B is y percentage of x. Okay, let me just write it down. A is nothing but x percentage of y and B is nothing but y percentage of x. So we can write A as x into y by 100, and this is basically y into x by 100 basically, right? So A is x percentage of y, B is y percentage of x. Both are xy by 100. That means both are same, right? So what's the correct answer? Option B is the correct answer. Both A and B are the same. Now what is the use of this? So from this we found that x percentage of y is always equal to the reverse, y percentage of x. So imagine in a question, let's say we need to find we need to find 14.28% of 50, or I need 14.28% of, so this is what I need to find out, 14.28% of 50. Now a percentage of b is always equal to, or x percentage of y is always equal to y percentage of x. So to find 14.28% of 50, all we need to do is just find the reverse, that is 50% of 14.28. So we just need 15, so we can just find the reverse, because a x percentage of y is equal to y percent of x. So 14.8% of 50 is equal to 50% of 14.28. And what is 50% of 14.28? It's just the half of 14.28, we know that. So we'll directly get the answer, which is 7.14. So basically for doing complex calculations like this, we can always try the reverse. So 14.8% of 50 is same as that of 50% of 14.28. We just need to take half of 14.28, which is 7.14. So in other questions also, when you're getting something complex, always try the reverse, so that sometimes it will help you to find the answers really fast. Okay, let's get moving. Next, concept which we are going to discuss is the most important concept in percentages. That is how we can increase and decrease a number by a percentage. Now, to increase a number by x percentage, directly multiply the number with 100 plus x by 100. I'll explain this, but before that, so let's say I need to increase 120 by 20 percentage. So what will we usually do? We'll find 20 percentage of 120 first, and we'll add that with 120, right? So 120 increased by 20 percentage is basically 120 plus 20 percentage of 120. So we can take 120 common. So we can just write like this, because here we have 120, here also we have 120. So we can take 120 common. So we'll do 120 into, when you cross multiply, 1 into 100 plus 20 by 100, which is basically nothing but 120 into, what is 100 plus 20? 120 by 100, right? So what is the multiplication factor here? It's 120 by 100. So there is no need of doing all this. To increase a number by x percentage, multiply directly with 100 plus x by 100. So what am I doing? I'm increasing 120 by 20 percentage. All you need to do is just multiply 120 with 100 plus 20, which is 120 by 100. As simple as that. Okay, let me just give you another example. Let's say I need to increase 140 by 30 percentage. So to increase a number by x percentage, we'll multiply it with 100 plus x by 100, right? To increase 140 by 30 percentage, all you need to do is just multiply it with 100 plus 30 by 100, which is 130 by 100. So we can simply increase numbers really fast using this technique. Okay, let me just give you another example. Let's say I need to increase 70 by, let's say 28 percentage. So there is no need of finding 28% of 70 and adding it with it. Instead of that, just multiply 70 with 100 plus 28, which is 128 by 100. So to increase a number by x percentage, directly multiply it with 100 plus x by 100. Likewise, to decrease a number by x percentage, multiply it with 100 minus x by 100. Okay, so let's say I need to decrease a number by x percentage. What I need to multiply the number with? 100 minus x by 100. So for example, I need to decrease 60 by 20 percentage. So all I need to do is just multiply 60 with what? 100 minus 20, which is 80 by 100. Another example, let's say I need to decrease 70 by 30 percentage. The same way, just multiply 70 with 100 minus 30, which is 70 by 100. So we can easily increase and decrease a number by a percentage like this. So to decrease a number by x percentage, multiply it with 100 minus x by 100. To increase a number by x percentage, multiply the number with 100 plus x by 100. So if you do this way, you can answer the questions really fast. So I believe this much is clear for all of you. Let's get moving. We are actually going to do a question connected to the same. All of you try the question. What is the question saying? A furniture store buys the furniture from the wholesaler. For a particular table, the store usually charges the cost from the wholesaler plus 75%. During a sale, the store charged cost from the wholesaler plus 15%. If the sales price is 299, what is the usual price? Okay, so what is the question saying? There is a wholesaler and there is a furniture store also. The furniture store usually takes the furniture from the wholesaler. For a particular table, the store usually charges what? The store usually charges the cost from the wholesaler plus 75%, right? So store usually charges the cost from the wholesaler plus 75%. So they usually increases the wholesale price by 75%, and that's what they, the price at which they usually sells it. Now during a sale, what are they doing? They are charging wholesale price plus 15% only. So there is a sale happening. They usually charges wholesale price plus 75%, but during a sale they are charging wholesale price plus 15%, and that sales price is 299. So that sales price is given us 299, and we need to find what is the usual price. So this usual price is what we need to find out. So there is a sale happening. They are charging wholesale price plus 15% only now, and that sales price is also given, and we need to find the usual price, which is wholesale price plus 75%. Okay, let me just write it down. First of all, let's look at the usual price. So the furniture store takes the furniture from the wholesaler. For a particular table, they usually charges wholesale price plus 75%. So if the wholesale price is W, I'm assuming the wholesale price is W. So what are they usually charging? They usually charges wholesale price plus 75%. So we'll do W into, how can you increase the number by 75%? We'll multiply it with 100 plus 75, which is 175 by 100, right? So this is going to be the usual price. So usual price is wholesale price increased by 75%. Now, during a sale, what happened? So I think most of you understood why I'm doing into 175 by 100. Because to increase a number by 75%, we can directly multiply it with 100 plus 75, 175 by 100. So usual price is wholesale price increased by 75%. So W into 175 by 100 is the usual price. Now during a sale, what is happening? They are charging wholesale price plus 15%. So what is the sales price? So sales price is wholesale price increased by 15%. So how can you increase the wholesale price by 15%? We'll multiply it with 115 by 100. So wholesale price increased by 15% is the sales price. And what is the sales price? It is 299. So we already know the sales price, that is 299. So during a sale, they are charging 15% more than the wholesale price. So wholesale price increased by 15% is W into 115 by 100, and that is the sales price. And that sales price is given 299, and we need to find the usual price. So usual price is what we need to find out. So what we usually do, what most of the students usually do is, they will solve the value of W from the second equation and they'll try substituting it in the first equation. But imagine you doing that. First of all, you have to find W from this, then you have to substitute the W here, and you need to find the usual price. So it will take a lot of time. So I'll give you a shortcut for doing the calculation. So if A is equal to B and if C is equal to D, then A by C is equal to B by D. If A and B are same, C and D are same, then A by C and B by D are the same. So this is equal to this is equal to this. That means this by this and this by this are the same, right? So if A is equal to B and C is equal to D, A by C and B by D are the same thing. Usual price is this, sales price is this. So usual price by this is equal to this by this. So I'm just writing the next part here. So usual price by sales price we already know, 299 equals W into 175 by 100 divided by W into 115 by 100. So we can actually put this by sign together because it is a multiplication actually. Now what is the good part in this? We can directly cancel the 100 off. We can directly cancel the W. Now what are we getting? Usual price by 299 equals 175 by 115, as simple as that. So we got usual price by 299 equals 175 by 115. Now what we need to find the usual price. So what we can do, we can straight do a cross multiplication straight. So usual price equals, I'm just writing it down here. So usual price equals 299 multiplied by 175 by 115. I'm just doing a cross multiplication from this to this, that's it. So this is going to be the usual price. Now obviously you can see this is actually a complex number. We have to cut it off and simplify. We don't have access to calculators also. Okay, let's cancel off this by 5. So we know that 5 into 2 is 10, then 15, 5 into 3 is 15, so this is 23. Then this 5 into 3 is 15, then 25, 35. Now look at the options. Whenever you have some complex numbers to do or calculate, always make use of the options also. All the options are perfect numbers, right? So obviously 23 will cancel off. This is 35. So 35 and 23 will not cancel off. So obviously 23 will cancel off in 299 for sure, because these are all perfect numbers. You will not get a decimal for sure. So when you divide 299 by 23, what will you get? 123, 69, 339, 69, right? 3 into 23, 69, and remainder is 0. So 299 and 23 cancels off, and we'll get 13. So usual price is nothing but 13 into 35. Now, again, there is no need of doing this. We know that when you multiply 13 into 35, the last step is 3 into 5, that is 15. So that means this number ends with 5, right? So usual price is what we need to find out. And we know that usual price is a number ending with 5 for sure, because when you do this multiplication, 3 into 5 is 15. So this number ends with 5. So usual price is a number ending with 5. So usual price ends with 5. So there is only one option ending with 5. So B will be the correct answer. So usual price is 13 into 35 for sure. And when you do 13 into 35, the last digit will be 3 into 5, 15. So 5 will be the last digit, right? So there is only one option ending with 5. So there is no need of doing the entire multiplication. So 13 into 35 is a number ending with 5. Only one option ends with 5. So B will be the correct answer. So let me just summarize what we did. So usual price is wholesale price increased by 75%. Sales price is wholesale price increased by 15%. Now we are just dividing them and equating them. So what happens when you divide them up? So 100 and 100 cancels off, W and W cancels off. So usual price by 299 equals 175 by 115. Now we are just doing a cross multiplication, and we got the usual price as a number ending with 5. There is only one option ending with 5. So option B will be the correct answer. Now we are going to the concept of percentage change. So when we talk about percentage change, this is something which is very simple. But since most of the people are not aware of the correct formula, they will make some mistakes all the time. So percentage change is basically final value minus initial value by initial value into 100. So percentage change is final value minus initial value all divided by initial value into 100. See, look at this question. The salary of Arun increased from 700 to 1700. So we need to find what is the percentage change. The salary of Arun increased from 700 to 1700. So we need to find out what is the percentage change. So this is the initial value, this is the final value, right? So percentage change is nothing but final value minus initial value all divided by initial value into 100. So the salary of an increase from 700 to 1700. We need to find the percentage change. So percentage change is final value minus initial value all divided by initial value into 100. So what is the initial salary? It is 700. What is the final salary? It's 1700. So percentage change is final value minus initial value all divided by initial value into 100, right? So we are sticking on to the formula. So the final salary is 1700. That is the final value, and the initial value is 700. All divided by initial value 700 into 100. So this is going to be the percentage change. So this is nothing but 1000 by 700 into 100. So when you do this, we can cancel this off. So what we are getting is 1 by 7 into 10 into 100, right? We can write 1000 as 10 into 100. Now there is a reason why I am writing and splitting it and writing like this. So 1 by 7 into 1000 is basically 1 by 7 into 10 into 100, or 1 by 7 into, okay, so let me just write it on the top. So what we are getting is 1000 by final value minus initial value by initial value into 100. So 1000 by 700 into 100. Now we can actually cancel these two off. So what will we get? We'll get 10 into 1 by 7 into 100, right? We can write like this. Now why I am writing like this is, we know that if you multiply a number with 1 by 7, you will get 14.28% of the number. If you multiply any number with 1 by 7, you will get 14.28%. So we need 1 by 7 into 100. When you multiply 1 by 7 with 100, we will get 14.28% of the 100, right? Now we know that 20% of 100 is 20, 30% of 100 is 30, 40% of 100 is 40. So we need 60% of 100, that is 60. So when you multiply 100 with 1 by 7, that is nothing but 14.28% of 100, right? And what is 14.28% of 100? It's nothing but 14.28 itself. So it is basically 10 into 14.28, it's nothing but 142.8. So 142.8 will be the correct answer, 142.8 percentage. So 1 by 7 into 100 is 14.8 percent of 100. So 14.8 percent of 100 is 14.8 itself. So it's 14.8 into 10, which is 142.8 percentage. So 142.8 percentage will be the correct answer. So I believe this is clear for you. Let's get moving. This is actually the application of percentage change only. So whenever we have a question connected to percentage error, we'll do the same thing like what we did for the percentage change. A student multiplied a number by 3 by 5 instead of 5 by 3. What is the percentage error is the question. So what is the formula for percentage change? So percentage change is nothing but final value minus initial value by initial value into 100. So percentage change is final value minus initial value by initial value into 100. So what is going to be the percentage error? So percentage error is nothing but correct value minus incorrect value by correct value into 100. So keep a note of this. So correct value minus incorrect value by, so because correct value minus incorrect value is the error, right? So error is what percentage of the correct value is what percentage error means. Now coming back to this question, a student multiplied a number by 3 by 5 instead of 5 by 3. So a student multiplied a number with 3 by 5, let's say the number is n, instead of 5 by 3. So he have to multiply it with 5 by 3, but he multiplied it with 3 by 5. So what is going to be the correct value? This is the correct value, this is incorrect value. Is it correct? He multiplied a number by 3 by 5 instead of 5 by 3. So he was supposed to multiply it with 5 by 3, but he multiplied it with the incorrect fraction, which is 3 by 5. So we know the correct value, we know the incorrect value, and we need to find the percentage error. We know that percentage error is correct value. What is the correct value? It is 5 by 3n. What is incorrect value? It is 3 by 5n. All divided by the correct value. What is the correct value? 5 by 3n multiplied by 100. So this is going to be the percentage error, right? Okay, so let's do the calculation part. So all of you listen to me very carefully how I am actually doing it. Okay, so when we actually subtract the fractions, how we'll actually do it? For example, I'm doing, let's say 3 by 2. So let's say I'm doing 3 by 2 minus 1 by 3. How we can actually do it? We can cross multiply. So 3 into 3, we can cross multiply to this side. 3 into 3 minus, we can cross multiply to this side. 1 into 2 all divided by 2 into 3, right? So this is how we can actually cross multiply. So when you do this, we'll get 9 minus 2 divided by 6, which is nothing but 7 by 6. This is how we actually subtract the fractions, right? So we are going to do the same thing here. So what is, this is basically 5n by 3 minus 3n by 5 all divided by 5 by 3n, or 5n by 3 multiplied by 100. We can write like this. The same thing, cross multiplied. So 5 into 5n, that is 25n, minus 3 into 3n, what is 9n, all divided by 5 into 3, that is 15, divided by 5n by 3. This is what we are actually going to do. Okay, let me just write it to the right. Clear. So what is this going to be? 25n minus 9n, that is 16n. So we are getting 16n divided by 15. When you divide a fraction with another fraction, what we can do? We can just take the reciprocal and multiply. So this is 16n by 15. We can just take the reciprocal of the denominator and multiply. So into 3 by 5n, right? Now n and n cancels off. 3 and 5 cancels off. So we'll get 16 by 5. So we have a 100 also on the right, correct? So this is basically this into 100. So finally what will we get? 16 by 5 multiplied by 100 is what we are getting. So what is 16 by 5 multiplied by 100? So we can cancel 5 and 100 off. So we'll get nothing but 20. So what will we get? 16 into 20, which is okay. So we have another 5 here. So we have to include that 5 also. Sorry for that. So 16 into 20 divided by 5. So again we can cancel 5 and 20 off. We'll get 16 into 4, which is 64%. So 64%, option D will be the correct answer. So what we do is what we are actually doing in this question is we are actually sticking on to the percentage error formula. So percentage error formula is correct value minus incorrect value by correct value into 100. All the things we did after that is calculations only. So actually to subtract two fractions we again cross multiply and we can multiply the denominators out like this. So that's what we did. And when you're dividing a fraction with another fraction, we can take the reciprocal and multiply. So we have another 5 also here. So 16, 3 and 15 cancels off and becomes 5. It is 16 into 5 into 5 multiplied by 100. So we can cancel 100, 5 and all things off. And finally we'll get 64%. So 64% is the percentage error in the calculation. Okay, so let's get moving. Let's look at the next question. So this is a bit lengthy question, a bit complex when we actually look at it, but it's a very simple question. What is the question actually saying? All votes cast at a recent presidential election is either for the incumbent or for the challenger. The challenger received 5.4 million votes and incumbent received 5 million votes. And after the recount of the votes and the addition of previously uncounted absentee ballots, the incumbent received 5.2 million votes while the challenger received 5.4 million votes. Then the percentage of the total votes that is for the challenger is the question. So what is the question all about? So there is an election going on. In the first count, what happened? In the first count, challenger received So in the first count, challenger received 5.4 million votes and incumbent received 5 million votes. Now after the recount of the votes and the addition of previously uncounted absentee ballots, incumbent received 5.2 million votes and the challenger received 5.4 million votes. Now the question is, what percentage of the total votes is for the challenger? Whether it decreased, increased, neither increased nor decreased, what is actually happening? So what percentage of the total votes is for the challenger? In the first count, challenger received 5.4 million, incumbent received 5 million. So what is the total number of votes in the first count? It is 5.4 plus 5, right? Out of that, challenger received 5.4. So how can we convert this into percentage? We'll multiply this by 100, correct? So basically in the first count, what challenger received is 5.4 and the total votes is 5.4 plus 5, which is 10.4. So out of 10.4, challenger received 5.4. So when we multiply it by 100, we'll get the percentage. So in the first count, what challenger received is 5.4 out of 10.4. Now after the recount, what is the total number of votes? It's 5.4 plus 5.2, which is 10.6. And out of that, challenger received 5.4, right? So it's 5.4 by 10.6 into 100. So in the first count, the total votes is 10.4 and out of that, challenger received 5.4. So 5.4 by 10.4 into 100 is the percentage of the total votes for the challenger in the first count. Now after the recount, what happened? Total votes becomes 10.6. Out of that, challenger received 5.4. So it's 5.4 by 10.6 into 100. So whether this value increased or decreased is a question. So there is no need of actually calculating it. Look at this. The numerator is the same, right? 5.4 into 100. Here also it is 5.4 into 100. But there is a denominator of 10.4. There is a denominator of 10.6. So we are actually comparing this value and this value actually. For the people who are actually lost in between, let me just quickly tell you this again. In the first count, challenger received 5.4, incumbent received 5 million votes. So out of 10.4, challenger received 5.4. So what percentage of the total is for the challenger? Out of 10.4, 5.4. So 5.4 by 10.4 into 100. After the recount, the total votes becomes 10.6. Out of the challenger received the same, which is 5.4. So it is 5.4 by 10.6 into 100. Now, whether this value increased or decreased is what we have to look at, right? Now, look at the numerator, it's the same, right? 5.4 into 100, 5.4 into 100. But look at the denominator, it got increased. So we are dividing the same number with a higher number, right? So obviously the value will decrease. This is the first value, this is the second value. So numerator is the same, but denominator is more. Instead of 10.4, I am dividing the same value with 10.6. So obviously it's a decrease. So it's not option A, sorry, it's not option C, D or E, because D is increased, E says increased, C says neither increased nor decreased. So obviously it's a decrease. Now, we have a 10% decrease and 1% decrease. Now look at these values. 5 by 10 is basically approximately 1 by 2, right? This is also approximately 1 by 2. So both the values are very close to 50%, right? Both the values are very close to 50%. So there is a decrease obviously, but it's a very slight decrease, because both the values are approximately 1 by 2 into 100, which is 50%. So it's a decrease, but it's a very slight decrease only. There is no chance that there is a decrease of 10%. We can eliminate that also. So obviously option B will be the correct answer. So basically speaking, there is no need of calculating this question. So we can actually say that there is a slight decrease happening because we are dividing the same number with a higher number. So obviously the value will decrease. It's a very slight decrease only. So obviously option B, decrease by approximately 1%, will be the correct answer. So I believe this question is clear for you. Now in this question, it's a very simple question. Out of total, how much is for the challenger in percentage in the first count and in the second count? That's what we did. So we know that there is a decrease, but it's a slight decrease only. So option B will be the correct answer. We can eliminate all the other options. So whenever we do a question, make use of the options. In the previous question, in the percentage increase question also, we did the same, right? We found that the last digit is 5. There is only one option ending with 5. So we logged 455 as the correct answer. This question also, it's a decrease, very slight decrease only. We can eliminate all the other options. So B will be the correct answer. So in all the questions, make use of the options. So in this video, we were discussing about the applications, questions on percentages, how the questions look like, how can we find percentage change, how can we find percentage increase, how can we increase and decrease a number by percentage really fast, and we did questions based on the same. So that's what we did. So I believe all of you understood what we discussed in this video. So thank you so much for the time. Meet you again. Bye-bye.